What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Luca, but we're also back with Savoy and Reasons to Stay Indoors, 2001. Once again, big shout out to Graham. And the next track is Half of the Time. I'm curious, when I first looked at the title, it felt like there was maybe a bit of, not venom, but a bit of sting to it. Maybe the suggestion that things are good or someone behaves in a certain way half of the time, and the suggestion that maybe the other half of the time things are more complicated. It could be more benign or innocuous, the time, or the idea that half of the time someone feels a certain way or is thinking a certain thing or maybe is in a certain place. So there could be many possible directions for the title, but when I looked at it, it just felt like there was maybe a bit of a sting in the tail. So let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Savoy. The tune is Half of the Time, and it's from their 2001 album Reasons to Stay Indoors. Definitely sounds a bit baroque.
Half of the time I don't know much. Out of touch, out of touch. Half of the time I see no reason to say much, to say much. Half of the time I don't know why, don't know where, don't know when. Some of the time I just pretend to a stranger or a friend. Oh baby, half of the time I'm just not there. Out of reach, out of reach. Half of the time I get no closer, so to speak, so to speak. Half of the time I don't know why, don't know where, don't know when. Some of the time I'm undecided and divided once again. Baby, half of the time I don't know much. Out of touch, out of touch.
Soft brass.
Half of the time I don't know why, don't know where, don't know when. Some of the time I'm undecided and divided once again, baby.
Subtle vocals.
Half of the time I don't know why, don't know where, don't know when. Some of the time I just pretend to a stranger or a friend.
That line is really interesting.
Baby, half of the time I see no reason to say much, to
Autobiographical for Paul. The tone of the Sonics feels richer and lighter than the sentiment in the lyrics. I mean, it was about having feelings or experiencing your life in your mind different ways half of the time. But it felt like most of the lines were on the negative side of things, the pessimistic side of things, or at least the not in control side of things, meaning you don't know where, you don't know when, you don't get things right, or you don't understand, you feel like you can't really express anything, or you don't have anything to say. It feels like someone who's closed off, or at least with a divider, but also a divider between them and others, friends, strangers, you name it, but within themselves. It sounds like there's a split. So half of the time felt like not only the suggestion that this person sort of waxes and wanes between different psycho-emotional extremes, or maybe not extremes, but dispositions, but within themselves feels conflicted, or feel conflicted and divided. So yeah, it sounded like a sad, melancholic feeling, but one that was presented in a at least hopeful, optimistic tonal setting. It really did have a lighter feel sonically, even if it was a bit slow and a bit, what's the right word, down tempo, I guess. But yeah, an interesting one. And in particular, I was first thinking like imposter syndrome, where you feel like you're not really the thing that you're presenting as, or that you're supposed to be. But then it sounded like more, he couldn't really explain who he is, not just to strangers, some random person where you don't really have the pre-existing connection or shared experience, but even friends. And if you can't be yourself to your friends, you're not sure what you want to say, then it definitely feels like there's a lot going on, and maybe not so much of it in a good way. But yeah, I'm curious to hear what people have to say about this. Luca, who has continued to become more and more comfortable over the video. We'll see what she does. Are you going to go to the chair? There we go. Yes, you're going to the chair. Do let me know what you think of this one, and she and I will see you next time. Peace.